Hi, everybody. Welcome inside the CrossFit Update Studios. Being joined today by the defending fittest woman on earth, Katrin Davidsdottir, as she gets set to defend her title at the 2016 Reebok CrossFit Games. Katrin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Want to look back at what is probably the most memorable moment for you in the CrossFit Games, and that is the Sunday last year when you had pedal to the metal 1 and pedal to the metal 2. But before that, at what point in the competition did you really start believing that you had a chance to win?
Leading up to the CrossFit Games last year and the whole time during the games, I'd never really focused on any kind of placing, not, being top 10, top 5 podium, anything like that. It was truly just being the best me out there. I wanted to come off the floor every single time and have no regrets. So really just focus on me. And I remember, I think it wasn't until like Sunday morning, then it was like, I really can win the CrossFit Games. The first time it ever crossed my mind.
You go into pedal to the metal 1. You're 17 points back as Sarah Sigmundsdottir. What's going through your mind as the two of you stood on the start mat right next to each other?
I just remember being in the tunnel before that last event and, thinking to myself that I was in a spot that I had an opportunity to win the CrossFit Games. This was it. It was my last opportunity to give it everything that I had. It was my last opportunity to leave the floor with no regrets.
What was the scenario in your head that needed to take place in order for you to stand atop the podium?
I didn't really have a scenario. My goal was to make one pegboard. And then on number 2, it was just to be smart on the handstand push-ups. And I knew that, if I could come off them in a good position, I could be the fastest on the rest of the workout. So it was just that. It was just stick to my plan, go, go, go.
You and both Sarah are tied now after pedal to the metal 1, you get to pedal to the metal 2, and you mentioned if you could get off the handstand push-ups. You get off the handstand push-ups ahead of Sarah, you sprint to the rower. What did that do for your confidence at that point?
I knew that if I would come off the handstand push-ups first, that I would win that workout. I love the bike. I love rowing. Actually, I don't love deadlifting, but I had some superhuman powers on that one that helped me do that. It's so fun. Like, even my body was numb. It was just go. It was a machine.
You mentioned the kettlebells. Sam Briggs was a little bit ahead of you to those, but you get to those right behind her. And we all know what kind of effect that crowd in the tennis stadium can have on an event and on an athlete. How did it affect your performance?
I remember the crowd so clearly on that one. Because I remember I picked up the kettlebells. So I was like, okay, I can keep going. So I kind of like walk with him and I pick him up again. And I start walking with him again. The crowd goes completely nuts. It's like roaring. And it's like, that's extra energy. It's like, okay, you're going to keep going.
You cross the finish line, you win the event, and then you look back and Sarah is still on the floor. What were you thinking when you saw that going on?
I just remember being there like, I don't know. It seemed like forever. And then Dave goes on the mic and he's like, and the fittest woman on earth, 2015, is from Iceland. And again, I'm still like, oh my God, there's more, like, we're a few of us from Iceland. And then it's like, Katrin Davidsdottir. It's just like, it's a rush of a million emotions.
Yeah.
I will never, ever be able to put that into words, how that felt.
You said before we came on, we were talking, and you mentioned that you really didn't think about winning the games when you came out to Carson. It was all about just doing your best and leaving nothing on the floor. What did you learn from that whole experience after you were crowned the fittest woman on earth?
I think all of last year, starting from when I didn't make the games, that really taught me how bad I wanted it. It really taught me, how hard I was willing to work for it, and started working so much more closely with Ben Bergeron, who's my full-time coach now. And I think I just truly fell in love with the process, and I truly trust the process. And everything that we talk about day in and day out, like focusing on yourself. I want to be the best me. That's my goal. Whatever the outcome, results take care of themselves, but everything that I do and my efforts is in my control.
Well, Katrin, thanks so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck at the 2016 Reebok CrossFit Games, and we look forward to seeing you in Carson.
Thank you so much. I'm excited.
Yeah. Katrin Davidsdottir, she's the defending fittest woman on earth from 2015, trying to make it 2 in a row and become the second woman, also the second woman from Iceland, to win back-to-back CrossFit Games championships.